Hello, everyone. It's time to eat, drink, and be merry with your hosts, Lisa and Nancy.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Big Blend Radio's. Today, it's going to be Eat, Drink, and Be Merry because that's what it's about with Diva Linda. So every first Saturday, Linda Kazam joins Nancy and I here on Big Blend Radio. She's a travel writer, a food writer, a wine writer. She is known as the diva of food, wine, and shopping. So we call her Diva Linda all the time. And she always likes to bring guests on our show. And today she's got two special guests joining us to talk about her farm adventures in Skagit Valley, Washington. And you can read her article on blendradioandtv.com. And it's really exciting because we did chat with Blake Van Field. Wow, it was a couple months ago about Genuine Skagit Valley, and she's a director of that. And so she was telling us about the area's agriculture, farming, flowers, all the production, but also a new program called Farm Stand Fresh. And Diva Linda got to go there and have a genuine farm stay. And anytime I think of Diva out on the farm, it makes me smile because I think she must have new farm shoes. Diva Linda, welcome back. How are you?
I'm very good. Thank you very much. I do have farm stay shoes and I did. And they're ones that can't have rubber stuff all on the bottom and can get wet and then can get rinsed. They're not always the most beautiful of the bunch, but they do the job, and I didn't have any concerns while I was there. So wear good farm shoes.
I need good farm shoes because we were just on a farm and I decided to go in the farm pond and I discovered there were leeches coming from my ankles. So I got out of the farm pond.
Maybe not
but
so
it
much.
No, it was cool. It was cool. But welcome back, Blake. How are you doing?
I am good, thank you. Thank you, Lisa, Nancy, and Linda. It's a pleasure to be here.
And we've got another Linda. So we're doubled up on Lindas today. We've got Linda Forsage. She and her husband own Blanchard Mountain Farm. And not only are they a farm, but they're a farm stay. And the Diva stayed on the farm. Did Diva behave, Linda?
Very, very well, yes.
Oh,
and
wow.
I found no mud in our guest house after she left. So
her shoes did good.
she did well.
Are they farm approved? Very important, very important. But I wanted to start with you, Blake, just to give everyone an overview of just like what you were telling us before on the show of where Skagit Valley is. And then we'll talk to Linda about her experience, Diva Linda, the Diva, because, we got two Lindas here. But give everyone an overview of this area because I think it's kind of this hidden gem. I know that's an overused term, but this hidden gem of agriculture and farms and flowers that, maybe a lot of the country doesn't really realize, but the Diva's been there. So now it's like, gonna blow up in a good way.
Well, thank you, Lisa. Absolutely. In regards to location, the Skagit Valley is about an hour and a half north of Seattle and about an hour and a half south of Vancouver, BC. So we're an agricultural powerhouse that's sandwiched between two major cities. And we're the last remaining agricultural valley in the Puget Sound region. Over 90,000 acres are cultivated with over 80 commercial crops. So the diversity is well known. And we grow crops that not only feed our local population, but the region as well as the world.
Oh, excellent, excellent. And Diva Linda, I'm so glad you went there. And it's Skagit Valley. I keep wanting to say Skagit. I'm sorry. It's like
good job, Lisa.
My brain. Skagit. I know you taught me last time, and as you just said, I went, I need help. I am blonde, but that's got nothing to do with it. But Diva Linda, you got to go and tour the farm, stay on a farm, which we know Linda's going to tell us about. But Diva Linda, you also went to breweries, you went to restaurants, you went to flower shops, you got to play with roses. You saw art too. I mean, there was like a little bit of everything, and
this is a wonderful place. And for those people who love flowers, gardens, want to know more about the small farm communities and how they're grouping together and just making a really wonderful overall experience. I was there for about 24 hours over a 2-day period. And I'm telling you what, Blake had me out there and running around and a wonderful schedule. And Linda was so kind. Linda V was so kind to take me on a, well, first of all, let me just say that her bed and breakfast is amazing. I mean, Airbnb is amazing and quiet and lovely. And the way you situated the view is just amazing. It's wonderful. And then to be able to walk out the door and get a wonderful tour, a farm tour, was great. My love is flowers. So she showed me a lot of her vegetables and so forth, but I think I brightened up a lot when we got to the flowers. And the wonderful thing is everything I saw goes back out to the community. I mean, she stocks up the restaurants and the various places. And, you know, that's just kind of wonderful. You know, when I had my great big gardens, I did take a lot of my flowers to hospitals and so forth to brighten up and cheer the guests. We wouldn't be able to do that anymore, but I don't know, there's just something pretty darn wonderful about seeing a farm community and how they come together and what they do with what they produce. It's just how they produce it and what they do once they produce it. And Linda can talk more about that. And Blake certainly has a wonderful thing. We were supposed to have another guest from the Garden Path Brewery, but he was traveling, and that was another unbelievable experience for the vision that he has of the community. And I think each of the places I stopped where I got to speak to someone all showed sort of a community spirit, and you'll just be so entertained and rested and everything. And this is the most important thing, everything by car is no more than 15 minutes. So
Wow. Oh, wow.
that is wonderful. You're not
That's
driving
cool.
an hour here, an hour there on country roads. You're not. They're country roads, but they're great roads, and everything was together. And I'm sure if you call Blake or email Blake, that she will help you. I mean, you can just follow what I did and you'll have a wonderful time, including the best pizza ever.
Uh-oh.
I mean, ever. And ever. And so anyway, so much to do and a wonderful place to stay. So I had a great time. Diva approved. Everything was
Oh,
wonderful.
and she's got shoes. That's important.
Pizza
So Linda,
alert.
I want to go to your farm, Blanchard Farm. Tell us a little bit, like how many acres, what are you growing? And I know that you and your husband both come from the education world. What led you into, you know, getting your hands in dirt and putting farm shoes on? Because let's stick to shoes.
Okay. So Blanchard Mountain Farm, we bought our acreage in 2013, and we did a lot of rebuilding once we got here. It was kind of a little bit of a tired place. So we rebuilt our house, and we knew right away that we wanted to have a farm stand, and we wanted to have a little guest house. We wanted people to come to our farm. And in part because of our educational backgrounds, we really enjoyed the interaction with the community and with the public. So those were two things that when we were looking for land, we wanted to make sure that we could have. We, prior to starting this farm, my husband and I had dabbled, you might say, in a vocational way in farming and gardening for all of our lives until we met each other. And we met in 1999, and we really decided that it was sort of now or never once we got into about 2010. So we left our jobs, our full-time jobs, and we decided to work part-time in education. So we bought this place, and it's 20 acres. We're really only farming about an acre, but we farm it rather intensively. We have mixed produce and a little bit of cut flowers and some unique herbs. The only traditional herb we grow is Genovese basil, which is the type of basil that I brought some props, so I'll just keep holding things up here. So, you know, the Genovese basil is the basil that you make pesto out of, and I grow a lot of that. And then we have some unique herbs that I mostly just sell wholesale, not so much in our farm stand, but we have lots of other produce, and we focused our produce on Italian vegetables. My background is Italian, and so we're growing a lot of the foods that I was eating as a kid and that I grew up eating and my family still eats. So one of the things that we specialize in is eggplant. And we grow quite a bit of eggplant, and we grow a lot of tomatoes.
Wow.
So the eggplant, the tomatoes, and the basil are the things that we're really known for. But we have everything else. We have patty pan squash.
Oh, I love them.
Oh, wow, look at that.
We
They're
have
little aliens. Those are like
Yeah.
little
we have this
flying
lovely
saucers.
green one this year that we're growing, a little
Cool.
scallopini. And then we also have things like English cucumbers, and we grow pickling
Ooh,
cakes.
perfect.
So we take bulk orders from individuals for pickles and tomatoes and basil. But we also sell to, as Linda was indicating, to a lot of the nearby restaurants. There's probably about 4 or 5 restaurants within just a mile of our farm that we deliver to in the Bow and
Wow,
Edison
that is
area.
farm to table, right? Like the
Nice.
ultimate
Nice.
of freshness.
And then
you
the
know.
other way that we sell, so we've got the farm stand, we've got the nearby restaurants, and a couple up in Bellingham, which is about 30 minutes from here. We sell through a farmers cooperative called the Puget Sound Food Hub. And the food hub is farmer owned, and we post our wares on a website, and restaurants all over the region can buy through that through the website. So for instance, right now, as I'm talking to you, my husband is out there harvesting eggplant, and it's going to go to Seattle. It's going to go to the San Juan Islands. It's going to go here in Skagit, and it's just going to move around. So through the food hub, we're able to get things out a little bit further in the region. And we just deliver twice a week to a warehouse 20 minutes from our farm. So we don't have to do the delivery. to
That's
all
a
the
huge
places.
deal. I have a friend who's retired, a retired organic farmer, and she had a bed and breakfast too. And every morning she was balancing cooking breakfast for guests
Mhm.
and then on the phone taking orders from restaurants, and you're having to deal with all the restaurant chefs, and we're talking like
Yeah.
the Marine Room. Yeah, it's Eva Linda, remember the Marine Room? They used to order from her all the time, and so she was always balancing that, and then sometimes she'd find herself out delivering for the day.
Yeah.
And you had to get it on time, and so having some kind of hub like that, I
Yeah.
think is
That's smart.
really cool. And then having, you can have a farm stand, but you want people to go to the farm stand. And so that's where you come in, Blake, right? With Genuine Skagit Valley. That's what you guys help do, is get the people to the farmers, literally.
We do, definitely. Even with our wholesale producers and also our direct consumer, those that do have the farm stands that I think take a lot of pride in building the relationships with their customers. They get to know who is buying from them. And it's also an opportunity for guests to our farms to understand how their food is grown, meet their farmer. And to be quite honest, I've been impressed with a lot of our farmers, especially Linda. You are an excellent cook. And so getting tips on how to prepare these foods is part of our program. So not only is it an ability to really meet the people behind the crops and the products that we grow here, but also to come away with some fresh inspiration with what is in your basket. So we offer visitors to Skagit's farm stands. And this year we have 17 participating. We've grown every year. There are just some incredible opportunities to access fresh foods along beautiful country roads. And folks can sign up to have a one-on-one chef chat. We call them chef chats. And our area chefs and culinarians will connect over Zoom for a 15-minute one-on-one opportunity to just give you some ideas of, hey, this is something great that you can do with eggplant. And like, for instance, what a lot of people don't know about eggplant is that when it is fresh from the farm, it's sweet, it's not bitter, it melts in your mouth, it becomes creamy. And And you don't necessarily have to prepare it the same way that you would a store-bought one that has traveled how many hundreds of miles, has been in cold storage. And so
Yeah.
really tasting the quality of ingredients here is also part of the emphasis too.
I know, Diva Linda, you
Nice.
talked about the food being fantastic at the restaurants, and you've got like really localized brews, mead, wine, all of that kind of thing. So what was it like eating the food that was just, grown right there? What was that? I mean, that's really farm to table, like in close proximity.
Well, the food was absolutely wonderful, as you can imagine. But I think what makes it more fun is having or extra fun is having the servers and the managers be so enthusiastic about where the food comes from. They often
wow.
put it, they often either it's on the menu and they're talking about this came from here or this came from there, or as they are taking your order and helping you find something, they say, oh, that comes from blah, 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 or Linda's farm or whatever, and it's such a different experience to have local ingredients within such, a small area, and have everybody be so enthusiastic about it. It just makes it that much yummier. It has a story behind it that you can relate to. Oh my gosh, I was at her farm today, or I was at that farm stand yesterday. Or, oh my gosh, in the back of my car, I have, 5 pounds of blueberries now. So, or razzleberries or whatever, just because, and then you see how it's prepared. And that makes it even more wonderful. So I think my experience, and yours too, if you go, and you should, is that it's a community effort, tastes really, really good. And it's very different than going from it to a chain, I think.
And you had blueberry juice. Now I was thinking that sounds like a good cocktail kind of deal. A little
great
blueberry
big
martini.
bottle.
Oh,
Yeah.
well.
I'm
She's going.
Oh, yeah. So Blake can talk a little bit about that, but they come in these great big blueberry jugs. I left mine, unfortunately, back in Skagit Valley with Blake, but I think she's sending it to me. But I got a little taste, and it's a taste of the farm, it's just a taste of the community. It's just, it's better.
Blueberries are like, they are treasured items, blueberries. I mean, you want to get them, as organic as possible. They're antioxidants. They're really good for your body, and they're delicious. But to get blueberry juice, you just never really hear about it. You hear about people putting them in smoothies. You hear about them in all the cakes and things you're not supposed to be doing, but they're good in pie.
Blueberry pie.
Blueberry juice just sounds
tarts.
like that needs to be on a cocktail menu. It really, something has to happen with that. But so this is, are they specific jugs, Blake, that people have, or?
They are. We have a farm here called Bow Hill Blueberries, and they're the only producer in the country making 100% blueberry juice. Every other product, blueberry juice, that is on the market is cut with either grape juice or an apple juice concentrate.
Right.
So theirs is incredible, and it is concentrated. So it's excellent in cocktails, and they do on their website, they do offer a great variety of recipes for different cocktails and how you can incorporate the juice in it. But it does make you feel a little bit better because it's so full of antioxidants. It just counteracts the vodka. So you're fine.
You're good.
Well, vodka comes from plants too.
There has been a blueberry basil martini in Skagit Valley.
Yes.
Ooh.
Ladies, we're
Ooh.
doing this all wrong. We should have all
We
had our
should have had a
martinis today,
cocktail. Yeah.
You've got
Oh,
heirloom
neat.
tomatoes. We could have, pesto. We can make a pesto pizza. Oh, yeah, this is getting good. This is good. This is good. The other thing, Diva Linda, it seems that you got into the flowers, and that's sometimes left out of, agritourism. We hear about going to the wineries and things like that, but the flowers, and you went to nurseries and you saw roses. Lots of roses.
Yeah, so Christensen's is known for their roses, and there's just a whole section, but it's like a destination nursery. So it has a gift shop and you can just wander around there for, just depending on how interested you are, for a couple hours. I spent an hour there and probably wasn't enough, but the way that they've done their displays, and they have many greenhouses that you can go into that are set up to showcase various things, and everything was labeled so well. That's what I liked. You weren't struggling if you're trying to find a rose and you didn't know if you wanted one that had smell, or had there was a certain type of presentation you want, or color, or whatever. There it was, really easy, grouped. So I used to live in the Pacific Northwest. I lived in Seattle for about 11 years, I think.
Oh,
And my rose garden was beautiful. My dahlias were beautiful.
oh,
It breaks
dahlias.
my heart when I go there, and it's just all the lovely things that I used to put on around my houses. I had several there. And anyway, it was a great experience. And if you love that kind of thing, you see how it all sort of works together. I mean, it's just, so I saw a very large nursery, and then that was Christensen's. And then I saw a very small one that was called LeConner. And so I'm rolling down the road, thinking of this, that, and the other thing. And this is a very small, on the corner type of farm stand with farm, where you can see the farm as well. And I didn't see a place to park, so I thought, well, what the heck? I'll just go down this dirt road until one of the workers was going like this to me. And
Oh,
yeah, he didn't speak a lot of English, but he did say to me, "Big hole, stop." I got that. It was a ditch. I just didn't see it. So I would have gone, that would have been an interesting experience.
you'd have to need new shoes for the ditch.
Ditch
Even
shoes.
shoes.
Ah,
Ditch diving.
oh, and then I got myself so switched into there that I couldn't back it out. He had to back it out because he kept yelling, "No, no." When I backed out, I think I was going to hit his greenhouse. But anyway, besides that, it was a lovely
Oh,
place
boy.
with specialized garlic. All this huge.
Oh, is this the
garlic.
place with the garlic where you can get the bulbs?
Garlic. Oh my gosh. So if you like garlic, there's tons of different kinds, and it's the big bulbs, and when they're done on the farm, it's like eggplant, it's just more flavorful.
Yummy.
It's just so
Mm.
you could put some in your
Cocktail.
suitcase and take it home with you or whatever. I doubt that anybody would open your suitcase if you did that, but anyway, it's it was wonderful. It was a farm stand and a farm. And once I got my car parked correctly, there was lots of people to help me and figure out what it is that was there and what they were doing. So these are the kind of fun little things that you can do. I just think that for me, seeing nurseries and farm stands and road stands and all that sort of stuff, and restaurants that use community ingredients, just a wonderful experience. Just if you think that you're going to go to Seattle and find this kind of entertainment, this kind of destination, you will not. You have to go out north. You have to get in and amongst the farm community, because it is just so darn special. Pike Place Market holds a special place in my heart as well. Great flowers, great.
The flowers, the
great-
nursery, I want to go back to that because this is really a big deal. And Nancy and I have actually gone to growers, and some of the biggest growers in the country, and some of them are in your area there. And when you get to a nursery that really labels, it's a big deal than buying from a box store. And I could get
Right.
on a soapbox for years about this, because the box store, somehow something happens between the mass production or growing of these plants and then gets to the box store, and they think, like, Diva Linda, when we lived in Tucson, you were in Phoenix, they will think that the same cactus that grows in Phoenix will grow in Tucson. It kind of will, but it's not like if 29 Palms to
Not
Phoenix are
always.
two different things. But they'll go,
Mm.
desert Southwest, the same cactus or the same plant will grow. No, that is so not true. And the labeling is terrible, and you don't have anybody there to talk to you and understanding microclimates to actually understand your zone. And one desert is different than another. There's a huge
Mhm.
difference between
Yeah.
Sonoran, Colorado, Mojave. They're all different. I mean, they all have their own different snakes too, just for that reason. But anyway, no,
Okay.
but it is a huge deal of, and they still haven't fixed it. And we've been talking about this for years. It's just go local and support the small nurseries. It's just like supporting your small farmers, because they need the help. They need that support. And they will know how to grow something more than the big box store. Sorry, but I had to do that because they really don't know. There's no one really there helping you with your garden until you go to those places.
Linda, how much time do you spend out in your flower field? I know you have a little bit of help, but on a daily basis, like especially when everything is, well, I guess it's from sprout to end, you must be out there a lot.
Well, I want to be out there a lot.
Mm.
I tend to go to my flowers at the end of the day when the sun is setting and it's quiet and I can
I get that.
head everything. I spend a little bit of time probably each day in the flowers, and then sometimes it's episodic. We grow a small amount of flowers, so I just have 300-foot rows. And actually
That's a small amount.
I have 4. I actually have 4
300.
this year. I put in another 100-foot row of perennials and some poppies this year. So we have a little bit of help. We just have a couple of seasonal part-time people. So I do get them to help me a little bit with weeding. But you can see behind me here, I dry a lot of flowers, and I've already started this year because we had a little mini heat wave and everything popped all at once. And so I had to start pulling them in. But back to your question, Linda, yeah, I start sowing some of the flowers and of course our vegetables in February. And we have them on heat. We have them on a heat bench. And so we start certain things, we start germinating really early. Some pure flower farms, they'll do some sowings in the fall and they'll overwinter things in their greenhouses. We have 200-foot greenhouses, but I don't have any flowers in them. We have tomatoes in one of those and eggplant and basil in the other. But I started drying flowers because I sell cut flowers in our farm stand, but they don't go very fast, to be honest with you. And for me, growing flowers is just a passion. I love the color. I love working with flowers. My husband has no interest in it, so I do all the flowers myself. And I was getting a little bit disappointed because the fresh cuts weren't selling fast enough. And so I was moving them into our house, or I was moving them into our guest house. And, I always have fresh flowers in our guest house when we have a new guest checking in. But then I started thinking, gosh, what if I dried these flowers? Because then I wouldn't have to worry about them going past, if they weren't selling in the stand. And we have a lot of, at the end of the day, there's a lot of sun that goes into the farm stand. So I have to kind of move them around. And I thought, well, if I dry them, I can sell them all through the winter. So I sell them into Christmas now. We have our farm stand open and I sell a lot at the holiday time. And I'll just, there are some from last year, but you can see kind of
Oh, pretty.
those.
Yeah, it's
There's
nice.
several different varieties in there. And I probably have about 10 or more different varieties, and I experiment with new ones every year. This year I'm going to be using the poppy pods, and last year I had a fresh cut that I had never grown before called basket flower, and I wasn't selling it very much as a fresh cut. And one of my friends was here and she saw the bud on it, and the bud is what makes it be called basket flower. It was really all kind of webbed. And so she says, how would it work as a dried bud? And so I tried it and they were beautiful. They had nice long stems. So I added those in. So, yeah, so I honestly, Linda, I spend more time with my flowers after they're not in the field. So in this room that we're in, I can spend hours and hours pulling these flowers together and bunching them and hanging them and then taking them off. They're hanging off of wires. That's what they're on back there. And then I box them all. And then I start making mixed bouquets with them. And I sell them here, and I get special, I get a few special orders. And then I sold them at one of our local restaurants throughout the winter. I just put like 6 bouquets at a time in there, and they just went through the winter. And
Cool.
That's
Yeah,
nice.
speaking of the winter, Blake, I wanted to touch base on the different seasons because we know about your winters. We know that it gets a little chilly up there, but
Wow.
what
A little
happens in
wet.
regards for, well, the farming, because I know you get a lot of rain too, but not as much as Seattle, right? Well, you're a little different, or no, I don't know, but
We are
Yeah.
different. I think, cities also reverberate heat, right? We're also located right on the water. We have Samish Bay, we have several bays throughout our region. And with that, we get cool maritime temperatures, especially in the summertime. And these cooler nights are what helps us, for instance, with our blueberry production. So if you do have a longer harvest window, then that helps release the sugars in the berries. And we have some very sweet, wonderful blueberries. Also, the cooler temperatures help promote the really bright red color in our
Okay.
potato. So we grow almost very close to all of Washington State's red potato production is right here in the Skagit Valley. And so we can achieve those colors because of our cooler summer temperatures. And so we do like to encourage people to experience our farms in the summer because that's why we live here. The summers are incredible. They don't have humidity. We don't have really scary bugs. It's
Okay.
it's today is a beautiful 79-degree day, a light breeze, the skies are super clear. So anyone who lives in this area, we don't leave in the summertime. It's incredible. Yes, we do have 4 seasons. We have, actually fall is oftentimes very beautiful. But it can be, it's the Pacific Northwest. It's
Yeah,
wet,
yeah. So,
rainy,
but
but
are
that's
there
why it's
things
green.
are
That's
there
why we
things-
have lots of green.
Of course.
for visitors? Are there still activities and farm stands and things like that to go to during the fall and winter and early spring?
Absolutely. So the reason
Cool.
why we do Farm Stand Fresh is to keep our farming community on the radar throughout the year. So our high seasons are spring and fall. We have the Tulip Festival, which is world renowned. Many people are familiar with our Tulip Festival, which is the entire month of April. And then come fall, to be quite honest, most of our farmers have incredible harvest times, starting in September. So September and October, you can still find plenty of bounty throughout our region, even going into November. I think Linda, Blanchard Martin Farm, Linda, you were open, I think through December of last year.
I think we pulled our farm stand sign at the end of the road out on Christmas Day with our kids.
Yeah.
So that was the day I was like, okay, we'll close.
Yeah.
But we had, we had winter squash and onions and pie pumpkins and the dried flowers through December.
Excellent, excellent. This is, everyone's got to
Nice.
go and
Yeah.
read Diva Linda's article. Go on blendradioandtv.com. Just type in Skagit Valley, and then you'll also be able to hear Blake's interview with us a couple months ago. Also, go over to everyone's website. So genuineskagit.valley.com. You've got BlanchardMountainFarm.com, and you can access the guest house from there. I mean, you can't actually walk into the guest house, but you can see it. The farm stay. And then also keep up with Diva Linda's adventures. Go to allingoodtaste.info. Diva Linda's on every first Saturday. Next Saturday, we'll be talking, or next month, we'll be talking about her boating adventures, which are always a hoot to chat about. Her boating adventures in the Pacific Northwest that she does every summer with her husband, Alan. And then you'll be off, you're going to be off in a few days, right? Diva Linda, you're off floating on another floating thing. You're
Yeah,
floating a
so-
lot.
Yeah, so so we shut down the boat and are off the boat in about a week. Then we travel to California so we can drop off the dog and so forth and so on, switch luggage, switch mindsets, and I'll be off to Europe for 4 weeks on 2 weeks on a Viking cruise. This ought to be interesting. And it's in that like Norway, Sweden, Poland, that sort of thing. And then we're gonna hop over to Scotland and Ireland and do some tours over there. So
Wow, that's awesome.
my bucket list, my final bucket list was Scotland and Ireland. And so this will be wonderful. I'm really looking forward to it.
You need
Cool.
little leprechauns on your shoes for
Yes.
Ireland, like
You
little
need little
leprechaun
green
charms.
shoes.
You
I need,
do.
you know what? You can't bring a lot of shoes anymore in luggage.
But you can do charms. Somebody needs to have a change of charm on shoes thing.
There
that
you go.
You know what I mean? So Diva Linda today, she's clamming, because that's another thing you can do in the Skagit Valley. We didn't touch on
Oh.
is clamming. So we could put a big clam on your shoes. Then you can go to Ireland, put a leprechaun on your shoes. You know, when you're on Viking River
Shoe
cruise, you can put a big
charms,
Viking
yes.
hat on it. Anyway, it's a new company I'm starting, not really.
It'll be
So anyway,
wonderful.
have fun on the cruise. I know we'll be talking with you soon. And ladies, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah,
It was a
it's fun.
pleasure again, and nice to meet you, Linda.
Yes, nice to meet you. Thank you.